woke up, the price of coca. I'm just hitting with the low cut and call my folks up. Somebody about to get poked up, or pull a tow truck. All that talking out your neck might just get your throat cut. This a Mack truck, not a black truck. When we move, tell them back up, click, click, clack, duck. Hella bands, pull up, stashed up, super fast up. When you bitches Rosa Parks, get your ass up. Yikes, I put that, and you up for life. Yikes, you a clown, you do it for life.
What's up, gang? I know it's been a minute, but I'm back with another one. Today we're doing medium knotless plaits with them triangular parts. So I just want to say before we even get started, thank you for subscribing to all my new subscribers. For all my old subscribers, I'm back like I never left, and we just finna get it started. So first off, you want to go ahead and make a part from left to right, ear to ear, wherever you're going to be starting off at with your plaits. Then once you have that part cleaned up and nice, you're going to want to go ahead and split that section in half, straight down the middle, and clean it up. And from there, you start at the top point and go down slanted to make a triangle, obviously. And you repeat the same step on the other side. And this will allow you to get the perfect triangle in the first row. And from there, you're just going to go either up, down, up, down, up, down until that row is complete. But you also want to make sure that you clean up that part and get it as clean as possible to make sure that there's no hairs out of place. Because if you have one piece of hair out of place, it's just going to ruin the whole look, and you don't want that to happen. So yeah, once I have that done, parted, then I just go ahead and comb through to make sure, you know, all the product is through the hair evenly and there's no caked up places. And I'm just going to go ahead and start my braid. Now, when I'm starting my braid, I make 3 little triangles within the big triangle itself, like 3 little diamonds, I'm going to say. And you start by plaiting those out before you start adding in the hair. So you want to plait down like 3 times. And then make sure when you're adding in the hair, you add in a small piece first. And you gradually get bigger. You don't want to start off big because you don't know how much hair they have. Like if their hair is thin within the section that you're plaiting itself, then it's going to look kind of weird starting off with a huge piece. So you just want to start off like medium to small and gradually get bigger. You're just going to keep on adding in the hair until you get the desired size that you're going for within the braid. And you also want to make sure that wherever their hair ends or starts or even is visible throughout the braid, you want to make sure you put product on it to lay that hair down so it doesn't frizz out of the braid once it gets old. Like you want to make sure that you're plaiting around their natural hair tighter than the rest of the braid because you don't want their natural hair to peek out of the braid. Now after I have that first braid, this is after I have a couple rows done. So now I'm just showing you guys how I clean up my parts. So I always make the first initial part, that's my rough draft, and then I go ahead with my jam, lay it across that rough draft part, and I want to retrace to clean up the part. And you also want to make sure that you put jam like at the top of whatever hair you're not using to smooth it out, to make sure that it's out the way. Then once I have everything how I need it to be, then I'm going to start with that middle part that goes down the section that I'm going to be using, and then start off with my triangular pieces. And when you start off with that middle part, you're going to see how your triangles line up perfectly. So I'm just going to keep on parting out each section, and I'm going to show you guys how my triangular parts line up perfectly. Once I get to the top section, instead of going in a circle or a horseshoe, I start to go straight across, like left to right, left to right. And I still do the same middle part method and part it out to make sure that each triangle that I do create is equal. So I start with my middle part, create my middle portion triangle, and then I part out each triangle after that to make sure that I have triangles at the top. Always make sure that you're smoothing out the client's hair within that braid itself, so that way it doesn't stand out of the braid. You always want to make sure that their natural hair is smoothed out within the braid so you don't have no issues. Here I am again showing you guys how I get my parting down pat. So as you can see, I started off with that rough draft parting, then I placed my jam down that entire part and reparted it, and I made sure to smooth out the hair out the way. And once I had that done, then I started off with my middle part for my triangle base, and I did one side already as a triangle, and then I just started going up and down from there. So I started off going up, then my next part would be going slanted downwards. Then after that, I go up again, downwards, and just continue that until you have all your triangles parted out in the section. Now we on to my favorite part, which is the baby hairs. Baby hairs is an art. It takes time to learn. Like when I first started doing baby hairs, my baby hairs was not where it was at. It was not giving what was supposed to be gave. But now I have them things down pat, and it be giving tea. It be like, we here. But anyways, that ain't the thing we'll be on. But with the baby hairs, it takes time to get it down pat. Like the swoop in and all that stuff, it takes time to come. Like, it takes time. And sometimes you have to go over like the same little section multiple times before it's even, you know, what it needs to be. But for the most part, it gets easier with time. I can say that. But you want to make sure that you don't like oversaturate it with edge control or whatever you use for your baby hairs. So now this is how it looks once I'm all done, plaited out. Hers is waist length, so you know them things long. Now we're going to start with our finishing step. I always do this to make sure that there's no white residue within the plaits or anything like that. So first off, I start off with my spritz, not mousse, my spritz. Spray it all down. Then I get a lot of mousse and make sure that every little part and section is covered with mousse. Then I'm going to go ahead and go in with my Got to Be Glued Freeze Blasting Spray. And then I'm going to go back in with my spritz again. And then we're going to tie that sucker up with the do-rag and blow dry it on high heat. Don't do no medium heat, no low heat, high heat. That's what's going to seal them suckers in. Once we have it sealed in, then we're going to go ahead and dip. Now, when it comes to dipping the ends of knotless plaits, you do not want to go up to where the natural hair is because it will frizz out of the braid. Keep it low. Keep it under the natural hair. Wherever their hair stops at in the plait, keep that water underneath there because you don't want their hair to frizz out of the braid. And don't make it touch their skin until, you know, you start flashing it out. Flash out that heat first because it's stored heat in there. So you want to flash the heat out of the braid before you actually lay the braid down. When it comes to dipping, as you can see how that end curled up, I just re-dip it. First I straighten it out, then I'm gonna go ahead and re-dunk it to make sure that it's being dunked in there straight. So that way, once I towel dry it, it's straight. It doesn't have any kinks in it or anything like that. And if it does have kinks, I continue to dip it until it don't. Now this is when she's all finished. She's all dipped up, hair is straight and long, nice, with the triangular parts. Get into them parts right quick. Get into it. You see me. Don't do me. And we go get into these baby hairs. You see that swoop, them swirls, them curls. You see them. And them parts. Them parts are so neat. As always, don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you're not already subscribed. Please hit that like button and share my video and tell a friend to tell a friend. Until the next one, y'all.
Yikes, I play tag and you it for life. Yikes, you a clown, you do it for likes. Yikes, yes it's tight, but it doesn't bite. Whip it right, he be like